Hello RDA family, how are you all? I just wanted to come online to have a chat to you guys. One, to tell you a bit about what's going on this weekend and other things, but also to give you guys some hope, because it's been really difficult to see all the footage coming out from the other states who have been in lockdown, and to see the police resources being used to target people who are breathing fresh air. It's been really hard to watch, but I just want you all to know that this is all a part of the plan. These things need to happen for people to wake up, and we are here and you are there. You know the truth, we know the truth, and we're going to keep doing everything we can to get out to the people. And I think Sydney is not handling this very well, in the sense that they are not happy. And I hear there's going to be some big pushback in Sydney. So I think it's important that they're going through this, and it's important that we support them any way we can with our words and just online and things like that, and to share the truth of what's happening. But I didn't really want to come on to talk about the misuse of police resources, because that's been happening in Victoria for a long time. I wanted to talk to you about updates. So, of course, the coercion and the mandatory nature of the experiment is a real worry for a lot of aged care workers especially. But look, it's going to be pushed into all different industries. So it's really important we have some tools in our toolbox, and we have one right now. So there is a letter that has been written by a lawyer, Tony Nikolic, who's been helping out a lot with a lot of different things. I also have a story coming up about him soon. He's representing the lady in New South Wales whose 12-year-old daughter got pepper sprayed. And there's actually a success story with that, and I'll be releasing that video later on. But he wrote a letter and he sent it to some of the members of parliament all over Australia. And this letter is so well written. It's not conspiracy, it's not crazy, it has statistics, it's got proof of a lot of things. It's legally written by a lawyer. So I think it is really a great tool for us to use in our own lives, okay? So I think if you're an aged care worker, if you're a worker who's been coerced into anything, any sort of medical tyranny, which it seems to be happening a lot undercover, people don't even know different industries, different businesses are actually doing it as well. Use this letter. So the letter is at reignitedemocracyaustralia.com.au/informed-consent. You'll see it on the status of this video. You'll see it in my last couple of posts, and you'll see it on the website as well. Please also download that letter and send it to your local member of parliament. If you go onto the website, you'll see there that there is a tool for you to actually just email the 6 or 7 members of parliament that represent your area. Emails are always more important to members of parliament when they're actually from the constituent. So feel free to use language like, I will never vote for you again if you don't stand up for my rights to, I don't know, breathe, human rights, etc., etc. You can use that language. You literally are going to vote for their job. So use that. That's not a threat. It's just reality. Okay, so if you go to my website, if you scroll down just a little bit in latest news, you'll see the letter there with the instructions and everything. So I think this letter is extremely powerful. I'm going to send it to my members of parliament. I'm going to send it to as many people as I can. I'm going to put it into a mass email tonight. And so if you're not on my email list, do that on the homepage, and you'll also get a copy of it through there as well. So yeah, if you know anyone who's been coerced, any students, uni students, healthcare workers, nurses, aged care workers, give them this letter, because it is so well written and is so well referenced and resourced that if you give that to your employer and say, have a read of this and then we'll talk about informed consent, shall we? Yeah. So use that letter, please, guys. Use the letter. Let's use it. It's legally written. We know there's tons of letters that get passed around and we don't know who's written them, and there can be some false information in these letters. This is written by a lawyer, okay? Nothing false about it. Okay, I'm going to move on. The business directory is going very, very well. We've had some successful businesses speak out. We've had an article written about one of the businesses. We've also got a reference on the website now for the business directory. So people are going out of their way to use these businesses, and it's a really great way for us to go to places where we're going to feel comfortable. You know, I nearly got kicked out of a pharmacy yesterday. You know, it's so much apprehension every time you walk out the door. You don't know if you're going to be forced to do this or tried to force to do check in, blah, 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 blah. So the business directory is going really, really well. We have someone looking after all the customer service. We're getting an app as well. So that'll come out in a few months. Unfortunately, these things take time, but it's happening. The community groups are going really well as well. So we have over 60 groups all over Australia now, and they're having meetings and they're catching up and they're getting activated. So they're doing little activism events. There's a protest in Albury Wodonga on the 25th of July, and that's born from these groups. I really think that Australia will maintain its freedoms and liberties by these small groups in their local areas, because not everyone can get to Melbourne for the big events, So it's really important these groups grow, and they are growing a lot. If you want to find your local group, please email us at active@reignitedemocracyaustralia.com.au. And we'll help you find your local group. And if there isn't one, maybe you want to be a leader. It's really, really easy. All you do is make a group, tell me a park, a time and a date, and I promote it to the database in that area, and people turn up. It's amazing. So if there's a tiny little bit of you that wants to be some sort of leader, this is a great way to start. I came up with the quote that you've got to let go to grow. And so I'm letting go, and I'm trying to let other people create groups, because what we have is a database, but we can't be everywhere at once. So I want to share that database with people who want to do good things in their local area. The point of the meetups is obviously to socialize and to support each other, but more so it's about activism, So when I have campaigns coming up, and petitions and stuff like that, the active groups can really get into gear. Talking about campaigns, we have a really sensitive one coming up next week. It's not finalized yet, but it's at the end. So we're going to be asking members, you guys, volunteers, and these active groups to make appointments with their local GP. And we're going to have a questionnaire, and we're going to ask them questions. We're going to fill out the answers. We're going to record their name and where they work and stuff like that. And the point of this is to open their minds to the possibility that the experiment isn't safe, but secondly, that it is an experiment, and that people should have informed consent. But also, we want to be talking to them about early treatment as well. So there are doctors in Victoria and all over Australia, actually, that are prescribing IVER. I'm not going to say the word, you know what I'm talking about, early treatment. And they've had a lot of success, but they're not talking out about it because they want to just give it to their patients. Anyway, we are going to be raising a lot of awareness about early treatment, because whether you believe COVID is dangerous or not is besides the point. We have been locking ourselves in our houses for a long time, and there is going to be a epidemic of the flu or COVID or something probably. And if we can eliminate people's fear by telling them that there are options for early treatment, that really might help the fence sitters start to realize, why are they only giving us the experiment as the only way out when there's all these other options that don't involve experiments. So I think it could be a really great way to open people's minds. So we're going to go to the GPs. We're going to talk to them about either ... and the experiment. We're going to talk to them about these things, and then we're going to leave. It's going to be peaceful. It's going to be one-on-one. There's no hoo-ha. There's no big protests. It's just you with your GP. And don't underestimate the value of one person at a time. I didn't realize that before. I thought everything had to be a big hoo-ha, I love things like the truck and stuff like that. I love the hoo-ha stuff, trust me. But it comes down to one person at a time. And I think that's what these community groups are going to be able to make happen, which is really exciting. So that campaign's next week. And so I hope as many of you as possible can talk to your GPs, and let's just one person at a time. Let's try and wake them up, plant a seed, and appeal to their duty of care to their patients. They became doctors because they care about people's health, probably, and somewhere along the lines, I don't know what happened, but if we can plant a seed and then they go and do their own research, that would be amazing. If the doctors turn away and say, I'm not going to be part of the experiment, that's going to be very, very powerful. So that's coming up next week. And last but not least, I am putting together a business proposal to get massive funding for a media outlet. So we're talking radio, television, newspaper, the whole 9 yards, because the mainstream media aren't changing their tune. they're just going to continue lying. So we need to make our own. So I'm just letting you know that's one of my big plans as well. And as you know, RDA Party has officially applied to the AEC, and we're going to start publishing some policies actually from Saturday onwards. So check out on the rdaparty.com.au website. You'll see some new policies coming up soon. So that's pretty much a big update for you guys. Just remember, seeing all the negative footage, I know it's hard for me too, but we will get through this, and life is a roller coaster, up, down, up, down. Right now, there's some down stuff happening, but we need to be positive, because if we aren't positive or hopeful, then no one else is going to come on board, you know? So be hopeful, be positive, and thanks for watching. See you guys. Bye.